What's up, Avengenerd? Welcome to the Avengenerd HQ. Now, if you've seen my channel, you know that there's two things I'm very passionate about. Comic books and mother-loving guns. This is my new 6.5 Creedmoor, by the way. But that will be a video for another time. Today I wanted to share my thoughts on some of the things I've seen during this coronavirus pandemic. Now, if you haven't noticed, a lot of people are buying guns. And being a fairly avid gun user, a lot of people tend to come up to me and ask me for recommendations on guns. And don't get me wrong, while I am a huge supporter of the Second Amendment, I don't believe that everybody is equipped to handle a firearm. At least not yet. So if you've just recently decided to become a gun owner, I wanted to share 5 things you should consider before deciding if firearms are right for you. Number 1, dedication to safety. And while I am fairly experienced with firearms, there are a lot of other great videos from professionals out there that can show you how to handle a firearm better than I can. But when it comes to dedication to safety, there's a lot more to it. You can't just take an online class or expect that you're going to learn all your skills from YouTube. Handling a firearm takes hands-on experience. And not just hands-on, consistent experience is also very important. Learning how to handle firearms safely takes a lot of time and a lot of dedication. Sometimes it even costs a lot of money. And by a lot of money, I mean trips to the range. And unless you know how to reload, it's going to cost you quite a bit of money to take regular trips to the range. If you're the kind of person that's going to buy a firearm and you're only going to take it out once every couple of months, that's not enough time to properly develop the skills that you need to handle firearms safely. So just keep in mind that with safety comes a lot of practice, and with a lot of practice comes cost. If you're not willing to commit to these things, then owning a firearm might not be for you. And for number 2, we have proper storage. And no, I don't mean a cheap-ass cash box. Who wants to bet my wife can pick this lock in less than a minute? Alright, we're timing her. Start the clock.
Open it! Open it!
I'm trying!
This is for my YouTube channel!
I'm trying!
But in all seriousness, if you're going to buy a firearm, you're going to have to learn how to store it properly. Circumstances might be different for all people. Some people have small children in the house. Other people live in neighborhoods where the possibility of a break-in is pretty high. Regardless of the matter, proper storage increases safety for not only you, but for the public as well. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if someone was to break into my house and steal one of my guns and then go commit a crime with it, I would feel like a piece of shit. And you can probably get in trouble with the law. Just don't be an irresponsible jackass. Now, I'm not telling you to go out there and buy a $2,000 safe, but you do want to buy something that's going to make it difficult for the average burglar to break into. Now, that would probably never happen to me, because if a bad guy was to break into my house, I would his shit up with my Desert Eagle. Preferably something that bolts to the floor, is made of 1/4-inch steel, and requires a combination lock. It's also important to keep it hidden in the house. Number 3, being beyond basic. The biggest mistake you can make as a gun owner is thinking you know it all. Even once you become experienced, that doesn't mean that you should get lazy with what you've been practicing for so long. You can never train or practice safety enough. And for those newbies, I hate to tell you, but it doesn't matter how good you are at Call of Duty.
Tango down.
Lack of first-hand experience can be very costly, and it could even put others at harm's way. So be prepared to always be a student of the game. Number 4, panic buying. Oh, this one gets so annoying. And like I said, don't get me wrong, every law-abiding citizen should be able to express their Second Amendment right. But buying in a panic, especially during a crisis like the coronavirus pandemic, it's probably one of the worst things you can do. And there are a lot of reasons. And one of those reasons is now we have a whole bunch of brand new gun owners that have no idea how to use their firearm, but they're ready to defend themselves. And in times like these where ammo is in short supply, there's not a lot of opportunity for these people to practice. There's things that even some moderately experienced gun owners would find ridiculous. This is empty, by the way. But for example, I can't tell you how many new gun owners I've met that didn't know if you release the slide with a loaded mag in it, that it chambers around. That is honestly really scary. I know people who have died from accidents that way. And believe it or not, accidental discharges kill a lot of people a year. But all of this could be avoided with a little education. But there are so many kinds of firearms out there that it takes a little bit of time to learn them all. We've got striker fire, we've got hammer fire, we've got revolvers, we've got break action, we've got bolt action. We've even got pump action. My point is, there's a lot to learn. So maybe panic buying is not the best time to get into guns. And last but not least, number 5, self-control. Now don't get me wrong, when I first started carrying, it's a powerful feeling. Sometimes even a small part of you is like, yeah, I wish somebody would with me right now. But the truth is, this is probably one of the more important things to consider. Just because you own a firearm does not mean you ever have to use it. Using your firearm should always be your last resort. First of all, you have to ask yourself, Can you live with the idea that you've taken someone's life? And also remember, unreasonable discharging of your firearm could land you in serious trouble. The only time you should ever have to draw your firearm on somebody is if you truly feel your life is in danger, but not over any sort of altercation. Just don't be a trigger-happy moron. This is why it bothers me when people discredit gun carriers. For example, during a mass shooting, there's not a lot of concealed carriers out there that are going to try to be a hero. A lot of the times people just act out of impulse. But if the opportunity presents itself and you have a chance to escape, most people are going to take the escape route. There's not a lot of people out there that purposely want to get into a firefight and possibly never see their families again. So there you have it, guys. Those are just some of the things that, as a responsible gun owner, I'd like for some of you newcomers to consider before buying a firearm. And if you've heard all these things and they sound good and you're ready for the challenge, then grab your gun and I'll meet you at the range. Happy shooting, nerds, and thanks for watching.